Good evening and welcome to News Channel 8. I'm Jerome Aegean, and these are some of the top stories we have for you tonight. More arrests from St. Thomas, reflections from the governor's re-election party, and one of our own receives a prestigious award. These stories and more are up next on News Channel 8. In our top story tonight, a Dominican native, a California man, and one other was arrested in St. Thomas yesterday on various charges, including possession of an unlicensed firearm. The public information officer for the Virgin Islands Police Department, Melody Rames, gives us the latest.
Police on St. Thomas confiscated another firearm and arrested 3 persons on various charges. Francisco R. Abreu, age 19, and Jose Luis Lager Arias, age 18, were arrested and charged with first-degree robbery, grand larceny, third-degree assault, and possession of an unlicensed firearm. Both suspects are originally from the Dominican Republic and reside at Patriot Manor on St. Thomas. According to the reports, Zone A Command officers arrested Abreu and Arias around 10:50 p.m. on Monday, July 12th. Police said while in the Main Street area, both suspects assaulted a male victim, hit him on the head with a firearm, and robbed him of his cell phone at gunpoint. Police confiscated a .22 caliber firearm from the suspects. Bail for Abreu was set at $160,000, and bail for Arias was set at $110,000. At about 7 p.m. the same day, Ronald J. Kern, age 43, was arrested and charged with aggravated assault and battery, resisting arrest and disobeying a lawful order. Kern, who is a California native residing in Estate Bellevue, was arrested in the Red Hook area near American Yacht Harbor. Police said Kern had a machete in his hand and was talking aggressively to a male victim. When police arrived on the scene, Kern dropped his weapon but threatened the officer. Bail for Kern was set at $3,000, and all suspects mentioned were remanded to the Bureau of Corrections, pending further court action.
St. Croix Traffic Investigation Bureau is still investigating an accident that happened earlier this week that left a 39-year-old victim in critical condition at the Governor Juan F. Louis Hospital. Melody Rames of the Virgin Islands Police Department again gives us more.
St. Croix Traffic Investigation Bureau officers are investigating an accident that injured a 39-year-old male victim. The accident occurred in the area of Contentment Road, located west of Estate Richmond in Christiansted. The male victim is in critical condition, according to medical officials. Traffic enforcement officers said that at about 5:07 p.m. on Monday, July 12th, 911 dispatchers advised police of the male victim who was struck by a Vitran ADA, that is Americans with Disabilities Act bus. Several witnesses in the area said the vehicle was traveling west on Contentment Road when it struck the victim, who was walking along the south shoulder of the road. Emergency medical technicians arrived on the scene and transported the victim to the Governor Juan F. Louis Hospital and Medical Center, where he was treated for a serious head trauma and other injuries. Traffic investigation officers continue to investigate this accident.
Thanks, Melody Rames of the Virgin Islands Police Department. And you remember yesterday I met the governor as he disembarked from the seaplane at St. Croix. The governor comes to St. Croix every week. However, last night was a special day as the governor kicked off his re-election campaign with his incumbent running mate, the Lieutenant Governor Gregory Francis, at Villa Morales last night. Let's take a look at some of the highlights.
Let me begin where I know I will end. I have a friend who has been my partner for the last 4 years. And we are running for re-election as your governor and as your lieutenant governor for our Virgin Islands. And I ask for your support and I ask for your vote. 4 years ago, when Greg Francis and I presented ourselves to the people of this territory as Democratic candidates for governor and lieutenant governor in this same place, we knew that we faced some very real challenges. We knew that we were entering and taking over a government that had long ignored problems in the functioning of our government. We knew that our economy was not fiscally stable. We knew that our children was lacking in education. And did we shy away from these challenges? No, we did not. Instead, we said, together we can.
We need to work together to say yes to our future. We need to work together for our tomorrow. But ladies and gentlemen, this election is important because the continued prosperity, development, and sustainability of these beautiful Virgin Islands that we call home are important to us. Governor Dion and I pledge to continue working together on your behalf because every Virgin Islander who lives here or who choose to call Virgin Islands their home matter to us.
Yes, the evening was full of cheers, but not all of them favorable, as one group just outside the restaurant on the other side of the street was reportedly a roughly 2 scores of protesters against the seated governor and the lieutenant governor. There were protest songs and there were banners raised, and the small band chanted against the legislators' spending money habits over the last 4 years, the poor state of the education, and the notorious Diageo deal. The throng of disgruntled persons were headed by Crucians in Focus organization and founder and president Michael Springer, who feels that the administration looks out for the haves and disregards the have-nots. And there is a person out there that looks out for the have-nots all the time. It's St. Croix attorney Lee Rohn, who felt that living in the Virgin Islands might make her insignificant to the world's attorneys at law. Not true, as she was asked to slip away from the beaches of her hometown of St. Croix for the frozen tundra of Vancouver to receive the coveted Wiederman Wysock Award, an award given rarely to by the American Association of Justice for the attorneys who have gone above and beyond for their clients. Lee Rohn spent a few minutes with Channel 8 News to tell us a little bit more about the award and the excitement she received. Lee?
Well, it was given to me by the American Association for Justice. It's a group of lawyers who do nothing but what I do, trial work, protecting the people who have been injured or are less fortunate. And the membership awards this award each year for the person, it says on it, who has demonstrated a deep commitment to the highest standard and duties of trial lawyers. And this is an organization of some 50,000 trial lawyers. It's the second largest association of lawyers in the world. So it was a very significant award. You would think that I'd be out in the Virgin Islands and nobody would know about me, but I'm very active in this association. I do lobbying for them. I've been working on the Fairness and Arbitration Act on the federal level in the U.S. Senate, trying to get fair arbitration, and I have been doing a lot of work with them, but there's a lot of people here who do a lot of work, so it was very nice of them to honor me. It's named after 2 people who were members of the association who worked tirelessly for the association, trying to pass better laws and help the association, and they died in a plane crash on their way to Washington, D.C., and so this award was made in their honor to honor people who work hard for the people, for our clients.
Thanks, Lee Rohn, and congratulations. And when we come back from this break, we'll take a look at a day of caring that's coming our way. Stay tuned.